Welcome to Bobbi Jo's. Today we're going to be making some keto fried chicken. Got my Lodge Dutch oven. This is I've had people ask me this all the time and I always forget what size I have. This is a 10 1/4 inch diameter Lodge Dutch oven. And I use it to fry chicken in. You can use any kind of deep pan to fry your chicken in. It doesn't have to be cast iron. You can also use a cast iron chicken fryer. Those are a little bit, they're about probably 3-4 inches up on the side instead of all the way up like this. But it looks like a skillet. It's just a really deep skillet. Now I've already used this oil before. I've just drained everything out of it and I'm reusing it because you can reuse your oil. I don't like to waste my oil. May need a little bit more though. I'm just using lard. If you're trying to find something besides seed oils, you can use lard. You can find lard at the grocery store. It looks like Crisco. Make sure you get the kind that don't have all those additives in it, or you might as well just get Crisco. I do not put my cast iron over medium heat because this is a glass top stove and it gets the cast iron really hot, really hot, and I don't want to have a grease fire or anything if I go above medium heat. And I just want to get it up to 350 degrees. And I have this handy little thermometer here, and it'll tell me how hot the oil is. See, I got a long ways to go. I know it's cold because I just put it in here. While we're waiting on this to heat up, I'm going to go over here and we're going to get the chicken ready. I've had my chicken marinating in the fridge. This is just some half and half. Put some of this Cajun seasoning in there. And I put a good bit of this Tennessee Sunshine sauce in there, which is basically kind of like a hot sauce. It's got a different flavor than like your normal hot sauce, but it's a hot sauce. So I've had this marinating for a few hours. You do not have to marinate your chicken first. The recipe, let me get my cookbook. This is the cookbook I've been using. And I have not found a bad recipe in it yet. I've liked everything I've cooked so far. But the recipe calls for 4 bone-in, skin-on chicken breast halves or thighs, or 8 drumsticks. These are bone-in chicken thighs. 2 large eggs, 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, and 1/4 cup of water. So what you want to do to start with is do your 2 large eggs, 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, and 1/4 cup of water. Mix that together, and that's what you dip your chicken in. Now, I didn't do whipping cream. I did half and half in this and a little water. And I've got everything in this except for the 2 large eggs. I'm going to whisk up my eggs and mix it in with this. So I'm really not going by the cookbook. Let me get a little dish. I got these cute little Pyrex dishes that I found at my mother-in-law's when I was cleaning out their condo. And I'm not sure how old they are, but they're little 10-ounce glass dishes. They're really cute. And I like them. I use them for all my little cooking stuff, so I can go ahead and pre-measure stuff or whisk up 2 eggs like I'm about to do. I found a lot of vintage cookware. I need to share that with y'all. But if you follow the cookbook recipe, you're just basically going to get a shallow dish, put your eggs, your whipping cream, and your water in it, mix it all together, and just kind of drench your chicken in it. But since I already have a marinade here, I'm just going to do it like this. And like I said, you don't have to marinate. Now, let's mix up our spices. Okay, so you need 1 cup of protein powder. This is whey protein powder. That's what it calls for on the recipe. I'm not sure if any other type of protein powder will work because I've never tried it. You just want to get a gallon-sized Ziploc bag, and you're just going to mix all this together in the Ziploc bag. Now, I've got a 1/2 cup measure. Oh, there's a little scoop in here. I need to pull that out so I can put my measuring cup down in here. All right. This is a half a cup. I'm gonna do 2 of these. That'll be a cup. I made this fried chicken once before and it is really good. It makes it really crispy. Hopefully it turns out crispy again. Okay, you do the protein powder. You need 1 tablespoon of paprika. This is a half a tablespoon, and of course it's not going to fit down in there. So let's open our bag up. Kind of make it stand up a little. That way when I overfill this half tablespoon, it flows in the bag. I don't have much in here. This is smoked paprika, but you can use regular paprika, and it don't matter if you have a little bit more than it calls for. I think more seasoning's always better anyway. 1 teaspoon of ground pepper, and I'm out of my already ground pepper, so we're gonna have to grind some. And a teaspoon is a good bit, even though you don't realize it when you're doing it. When you're doing it this way, it is. I'm not measuring it, but I can tell when it's about a teaspoon. I don't even think I'm going to get to a teaspoon. I'm just going to go about half a teaspoon. Got 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now, I did put some garlic powder in my marinade too, but I don't think you can have too much garlic. Teaspoon of onion powder. One teaspoon of salt. I do a little under a teaspoon of salt. All right. That's all our spices. You just want to shake it up. So seal it and shake it. Get it all mixed together. And you're going to dip the chicken, which mine's already dipped, but pretend mine's not dipped. You're going to dip the chicken in your liquid, your egg and your water and your whipping cream, and then you're going to let it drip off, and then you're going to stick it in this bag, and you're going to shake it till it's coated and set it aside and do them all that way. So let me get a plate to put them on. I have a bunch of these pie plates. You can get, well, I say you can get them cheap, but you used to be able to get them cheap at the Goodwill store for about 50 to 99 cents. Sure, they're more now because everything's more now. Anyway, I got a bunch of these. But they're good for like dipping your chicken in, your fish in, anything like that. I never use them for pies. I use my cast iron pie plate for pies. And these are always for other recipes, like when I'm dipping stuff. So anyway, I'm going to put my chicken in here once I'm done. Okay. Let me pull this over here so you can see. So I just let it drip off. Stick it in there. Move that back. And you're just going to shake it in like shake and bake. If you ever made shake and bake, this is what it's like. You just basically made your own coating for it. All right. Then you just want to shake it off and put it over here. See, it's all breaded. You do that with each one. Okay, here's my chicken. Let's go check our oil. First, I got to go wash my hands. Over here on this other burner, which you can't see with the way I got the camera set up, I'm cooking bacon. Got 2 pieces of bacon. I just cut them in half because that way they fit in the skillet better. These are frozen solid though, but they'll thaw out as I cook them. But I'm gonna be making green beans to go with this. And then I made some keto drop biscuits earlier. These are the keto drop biscuits. They're garlic and cheddar. We're gonna have a biscuit with it too. But I made those this morning because Steve wanted a biscuit for breakfast. All right, I lifted my phone up because it was about right here, and that heat's coming up, and I don't want my phone to get messed up. Oh, you can see my bacon over here. See, I've got 2 pieces of bacon. They're just cut in half. I'm gonna fry those up, and then I'm gonna drain the green beans, put those in there, and probably add a little bit of broth in there. I always replace the water in the green beans with broth. Makes them taste like fresh, homemade, instead of out of the can because they're coming out of a can. All right, let's see where we are. 262. All right, we're a little hot there. It'll cool down when we start putting chicken in though. All right, so then you just drop your chicken and it should sizzle. And just do 2 pieces at a time. If you're doing drumsticks, you can do about 4 at a time. I like deep oil, so that's why I use the Dutch oven, because I can put a lot of oil in it and I can make sure the chicken's fully covered. If you're using just a regular frying pan, that doesn't always happen because it's only a couple of inches. Plus it keeps the oil from flowing over. But if you got a chicken fryer, those work really good. There may be a technical name for those. They might not be chicken fryers. I call them chicken fryers because they're the perfect height for frying chicken. All right, and you want to turn this every 2 minutes. Let me turn my timer on. I turn it every 2 minutes just to make sure it gets done good and one side doesn't get cooked more than the other side. After it's in the grease like this, it ought to be crisping up. And we just don't want it to get done on the outside before it's done on the inside. And it usually takes between 10 and 15 minutes for a chicken thigh with the bone in to get done. If you're cooking boneless, it'll be quicker. But that's where the meat thermometer comes in handy to make sure you're at the right temperature. You just want to put that meat thermometer down there close to the bone, thickest part of the chicken, so you can see what the temperature is. All right, we got about 9 seconds left and it'll been 2 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and flip. See that? See how it's crisping up? That's some good breading on that. Yeah, that's some good looking fried chicken. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing over here, but I don't want to move my phone because then I'll have to readjust everything for the chicken. But when I do green beans, I fry my bacon up to a crisp. You don't have to. Some people like the softer bacon in the green beans. I just get a can of green beans and I drain it. I pour broth in to replace the water. Time to flip my chicken again. See, instead of water, we got broth. And this is vegetable broth. Chicken broth is good too. I just don't have any chicken broth right now. Now it's going to sizzle up when I pour it in here. See? And then you just mix it all together. Let's see. You can add a little bit of salt and pepper if you want to, but you don't have to. These beans are already salted, so I'm not adding any salt to them. And that's it. You just let them simmer. They'll come to a simmer. You let them simmer until they're good and hot, and you serve them. All right, it's time to flip this chicken again, but I'm only at 6 minutes. It's starting to get a little dark, though. I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven. When I take it out to keep it warm while I fry the other chicken, I just stick it in the oven on like 250. I'll put it in a skillet in the oven. I'll put it in a skillet in the oven on like 250. And then, my thing's falling. Let's see what the internal temperature is. Yeah, that's way done. We're going to take these out. Look at those. I'm going to stick them in this warm oven. Keep them warm while I cook these others. But let me see what the temperature is. See, it's down to 266. I'm going to let that heat up a little bit. I'm going to get it back up to 350 before I drop these. Also, don't throw out your bag of breading that you mixed all this in like I just did. Because as your chicken thighs sit here, or whatever chicken you're using as it sits here, it starts to absorb everything. I just got some protein powder and sprinkled over it. But if you still had your extra stuff that was in that bag, you could sprinkle it over it. So it would be breaded good. So I hope this turns out okay. Because I usually save it until I'm done, and I forgot. We'll be back in a few minutes. Till we're going to wait for this to heat up. All right. We got it at 350, y'all. So let me take this one out of this bag. Drop it. And let me get this other one. Shake it around a little. And drop it. And we're going to do just like we did the first time. We're going to wait 2 minutes. Then we're going to flip it. Wait 2 more minutes. Flip it. Y'all know a better way. Y'all want to do it your own way. That's fine. I'm just telling you how I do it. Alright, let's turn it. Look at that chicken. Isn't that some good looking chicken? Alright, those are almost done. I'm going to get the ones out the oven. That's what we're going to have. We're going to have these tomorrow. And I'll make us up some plates and we'll be at the table and we'll let Steve do a review. I can hear crisp.
A lot of crispy. Juicy. Crispy. Man, that's good. 2 thumbs up. Drool worthy.
Thank you.
Biscuits are real good. They're better with cheddar.
Okay.
The green beans are excellent, as they always are.
All right.
The green beans are always good. 2 thumbs up and drool worthy.
Thank you. There you have it. Low carb fried chicken thighs, cheddar garlic biscuits, and green beans. This was definitely a drool worthy Southern keto meal from the Southern Keto Cookbook. I will leave a link to the cookbook in the video description. This is a video from back in December, so I'm still catching up on my keto videos, so y'all bear with me. Thanks so much for watching, and y'all have a very blessed week.